Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of Eye of the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dio, Lauren Frey, Grim, Clover, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. Jeff Gerstmann is leaving Giant Bomb, a statement that means absolutely nothing to me or anyone else. But seeing the reactions to it and seeing people like go down a long list of e-celebs that have backed out of the scene or left long running channels to rot or had some kind of decline, seeing people like throw out names like the Super Best Friends or Video Games Awesome or Cinemassacre, it just goes to show you, I think, that the 40-year-old YouTuber who built their career after on playing Nintendo games, right, on camera, selling this idea that like, holy shit, bro, I'm making money, I'm becoming rich by playing video games. These people are old, they're busted, and they no longer care about video games. They just want a quick buck. They just want to show up on screen for a couple of minutes a day, like bleed something that they don't really care about, and then like go back to their regular routines. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with that, not really. In fact, I would suggest that it's normal to drop out of the gaming hobby as you age. It's not like it's a time consuming thing. Most games aren't that great anyway. There's no reason to keep playing video games as an adult. Not really. Like eventually you have access to other things that you might want to do. You might want to focus on a career. You might want to have a real life, essentially. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to move away with video games. The problem that we're seeing with people like Cinemassacre, with the Jimquisition, with Boogie 2988, with Angry Joe, with Spoonie, countless others, is that these people have clearly lost interest in whatever it was that made them successful to begin with, whether it was like riffing on classic movies or talking shit about bad NES games. Like these guys got old and suddenly didn't want to do the work anymore. They didn't want to put in the time and effort to make engaging content. But what's worse is that they chose not to move on with their lives. They chose not to develop a new skill set. They chose not to do anything new or different or exciting. They chose to just sit around on their ass and accomplish absolutely nothing. I It's interesting seeing like people like Pro Jared do his 90s retrospective videos and just see that like dead empty look in his eyes and just see how you can see anyone who's like paying attention can see that like he's only doing this for a paycheck. There is no enthusiasm, there is no passion, there is no heart. Like Pro Jared is there for a paycheck. Jim Sterling is there for a paycheck, and I suppose attention in his case. Like Cinemassacre, James Rolfe is there for a paycheck, whenever he actually shows up, which is not often in a lot of these more recent videos. Angry Joe there for a paycheck. Boogie 2988, he needs someone to vent to about his personal problems and a paycheck. He needs to pay for that Tesla, bro. These people are entitled, they're lazy, they're stupid, they're not worthy of your respect. The bubble on gaming YouTubing has burst, right? These people are losing money hand over fist. There's no real recovery, there's no real upward trajectory. These people are on a downward spiral, and what's more, I don't think there's anyone younger who is going to replace them. Like back in the day, I feel like a big reason why gaming YouTube took off the way it did was because people who took this seriously, who followed gaming news websites, like followed the culture, understood gaming, like understood that the gaming websites were corrupt. They were handing out like 10 out of 10s like candy, like defending shit like Metal Gear Solid 4 and Resident Evil 5 and shitting on the Wii and like pushing all these narratives, all these conspiracies, like all this nonsense, right? Like it's not like a new thing. It wasn't. Some people will tell you this stuff started in 2007, but really it's been going on since the 90s, ever since Sega introduced their hate campaign against Nintendo. Sega does what Nintendo don't. Um, like like gaming journalism fundamentally is meant to sell you products, not give you an informed opinion on the quality of games. The idea, the reason gaming YouTube took off the way it did was because people legitimately believed that they had a shot to simply make their own content, make content by gamers for gamers, and just cut through all the bullshit and just, talk about fucking video games. And what happened? Sponsorship deals, mobile game ads, just a slow, steady decline of every single channel on YouTube, from the completionist to JonTron, like all of them have just sunk to impossibly low lows and continue to put out drivel for content. It's embarrassing. It's pathetic. And I think the audience, more than anything, is catching on to this fact. I always see people like the completionist bitch about declining views. I'm always seeing people like blame the algorithm for lack of enthusiasm for their content. But the reality is, I think people just aren't watching anymore. I think people have like seen past the curtain, seen the wizard in all of his glory, and understand that gaming YouTube is no different than gaming journalism at this point. It's the same exact people with the same exact talking points, pushing the same exact narratives. It might be a few years behind gaming journalism. It might still have like a little bit more credibility than game journalism, but all in all, like people shows like Angry Joe's, they're still trying to tell you that Naughty Dog has some of the best talent in the industry. They're still trying to sell you on trying to get you angry about Madden when no serious gamer has touched Madden in 20 years at this point. They're still trying to like attack Nintendo for policies that don't exist. Like the list of just insane arbitrary things that these people do on a regular basis is just disgusting. Not even like directly related to gaming. Like there are other things they do that I find morally reprehensible. But the the long and short of it is they will continue to alienate their audience, and the audience will in turn grow to hate them. And once this old guard dies off, once people stop watching their content, there will never again be this much corruption in gaming YouTube.